Hi, welcome to another episode of Timeless Marketing. This story is probably my favorite because it kept an older guy in business at least a decade beyond when he otherwise probably would have failed. So I had a sales rep come into my office when I was working at the newspaper, and I had been watching this one advertiser and wondering how what he was doing was working for him. And he said, "My piano store guy is going to stop running with me. Do you think you can help?" So I went out with the rep and I met with the guy who owned the piano store. And I said to him, "So, how many pianos do you sell in a year?" He told me about 250. So it wasn't a lot. And I said, "How long do people usually think about buying a piano before they pull the trigger?" And he said, "Well, it's not uncommon for them to want one for decades before they do it." And I said, "And you run full page ads in the newspaper, hoping today's the day out of the 20-year wait that person's finally going to pony up and buy a piano." And he goes, "Yeah, it's not very smart, is it?" And the sales rep from the paper was standing behind the guy going, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, I got an idea. There's another thing you could be doing while you're trying to sell a piano with those ads that I think will help you a lot." So we formed a piano club, and he had a little tear off coupon in the bottom corner of the page that told people that if they were piano fans or even thought about it, to sign up, and they had a club and you could come in and play after hours, and they'd have wine and cheese get-togethers. And when Van Cliburn came to town, I don't even know if he's still around or not, they would have a meet and greet. I mean, they just put together a really nice little setup. And very shortly, between emails and people cutting those things out and sending them in, because it was kind of early in the email era, he had about 550 people in his little piano club. And in no time, he was selling every trade in within 4 or 5 days to somebody in the piano club. He would pick a sample of 40 or 50 of them and say, "Just got this beautiful piano in. I can't hold it for you, but you bet, you should come in and look at it." And it saved his business. It about tripled the amount of units that he was selling, and now he had this club. And the takeaway to this, now you could do this with a Facebook group, but I still suggest that you have other contact information for these people. The drawback with a Facebook group, you're basically building a house on rented land. It's awesome, but you don't own it. So you want to come out of there with email addresses, and in a perfect world, you want to come out of there with their phone numbers, so that come hell or high water, you still have the ability to get a hold of these people. And you can try, because not everybody's on Facebook all the time. You can send them an email or whatever. But the takeaway here is, if you sell something that has a long buying cycle, half of the effort in your offline ads for sure needs to be to get them to connect with you. You need to give them a valuable reason to connect with you, so that you can communicate with value back to them until they're ready. Because you can't just keep using outbound advertising over and over and over again, hoping to catch people right when they're ready to buy a ranch or when they're ready to buy a house or things like that. You need to have a way of connecting with them. So I hope you found this useful. The end of that story, about 18 years later, I saw that gentleman's obit, and he had just closed the store the year before. So I think that the piano club gave him another 14 or 15 or 16 years of success, which really made me feel really good. So hope to see you here again soon. Take care.